What's going on, everybody? It's your boy C-Zar, and we are talking about XRP today. Hit that like button, you guys. Subscribe if you want to see more content like this, and let's get into it, all right? Wasting no time at all. Here we are sitting at about $3.13. Before we get into the price action, actually, I want to talk about this, right? XRP kind of came under some fire. Jack Mahler's here. I'm not going to play this. You guys have probably already seen it, right? If you haven't seen it, maybe watch it. It's talking about your coin, XRP, right? Or more talking about Garlinghouse and Ripple. Emergency press conference. Ripple is undermining American prosperity, freedom, and Bitcoin. Ripple is actively lobbying to stop a Bitcoin strategic reserve in the U.S. while pushing their centralized corporate-controlled token. We will not stand for it. And I want to just weigh in on this real quick before we get into the price action, right? There's probably a lot of people in crypto who are looking at this like a kind of negative thing for XRP, right? It's probably, this isn't a good look for XRP. Undermining freedom, not giving us a Bitcoin reserve, you know, well, we're going to have a Bitcoin reserve. Garlinghouse and the Ripple company itself, right? It's a very wealthy foundation. It's a very wealthy entity. They've got friends in high places. If I had a cryptocurrency, if I owned a cryptocurrency, and there was a, let's say, a leader of that crypto, a captain of the ship, and he was steering it, I would hope that he would try to steer it into a crypto reserve, right? A lot of people, and there's some people that are trying to spin this like it's a negative thing, and maybe, I don't know, maybe there's all kinds of arguments you could take. From a moral standpoint, is it right to try and weasel your own crypto in there instead of just giving the people Bitcoin? I can hear the whole philosophical immoralness of it, but at the same time, he's just doing what's best. Ripple's just trying to do what's best for XRP, and thus for the XRP community as well, and for their investors. You guys, the reason why I think you're hanging on a cliff here, and I'm saying hanging on a cliff, you're not, I don't know if you're hanging on a cliff. The reason why, even with this story, and how it might quote-unquote seem negative. I don't know if it seems negative to you guys, but maybe I feel like that there's people in the markets. If you read some of these comments, people are shitting on Garlinghouse or even on Ripple, and there's some people in the XRP community that defend it too. Like, let's see. So the money that people needs a government bailout, the government wasting taxpayer money. Let's see. Yeah, I don't know. That's just, oh, that's Peter Schiff. I should have known. I'm like, so he's talking smack about crypto as a whole. I'm like, that didn't sound positive to either of them. That was a bad example. All I'm trying to say is that people have mixed emotions about it, but the thing is, I think anybody and everybody, when it comes down to it, people are just haters, right? If it was your crypto that was trying to be put into a strategic reserve, you'd be like, hell yeah, go Garlinghouse, go. You know what I mean? So it's, I don't know. I think the reason why you're hanging here and you haven't moved down on this even questionable kind of report, right? It seems kind of quote-unquote shady to the average person, is because really it's a good thing. If it comes out to be true, and Garlinghouse is trying to get Ripple XRP into the reserve, that would be really good for the price. If the XRP does not get put into the reserve, if it gets shut out, well, guess what? It's still the same crypto it was before that was even a notion, right? It's still the same crypto it was before, like whenever it broke out back here, right? This is only, and I'm saying it's only recently been considered. I'm sure it's been a consideration, maybe of Brad Garlinghouse. It's been his consideration since they heard that there was a Bitcoin reserve. Maybe he's had this plan for a long time. But that's visionary status right there, man. I don't know. That's end game thinking right there. That's how you win, stuff like that, right? Complaining about somebody trying to get ahead, that's not how you win, man. That's just how you know, that's just how you complain. But let's get into the technicals here, all right? High to low of this overall consolidation phase. Anytime I see a range like this, you break above the 886. Again, you guys hit that like button, subscribe if you want to see more content like this. I know I ranted there for a little bit, but I felt like it was relevant. I wanted to weigh in on my input here. So let's just get into the charts and not waste any more time. All right, let's try to make this next part quick. Anytime you break above the 886, you have a green light to this area here between the 1618 and the 1272. Fib extensions, right? So likely what happens is you would at least go to $8.37, at most go to $27, somewhere in that range. You could go beyond that, but you know, we'd have to see how you interact with this level first. before we even get into that, okay? And there are targets that are beyond $27 that I think XRP can hit by the end of the cycle. I genuinely do believe that XRP could hit prices above $40 by the end of the cycle if you get put into a strategic reserve with some other cryptos as well. You might even hit 67 bucks, man. You might hit that next fib target all the way up there at 67 bucks, but I don't think you do. Let's keep our feet on the ground for the time being, okay? 27 bucks as a cycle high I think is suitable enough, and 40 bucks of course, somewhere in that range I think is also good. If we take a relative high to a low here, the last cycle high to the last cycle low, not just the consolidation high to low, but the prior cycle high to low, you can see that in this expected zone, the 1618 to the 1272, we also have this is our primary zone for this fib, right? The 1618 to the 1272, but we have our secondary zone, the 1886 to the 2618, kind of in this area as well. And I was saying that we could go to $40. You have your $43 at the 2618 up here, okay? But there's a lot of fib extensions in this area that would make sense for that as well. And the reason why I've got this circled here, I know I've got so much on it, let's do it like this actually. The reason why I have this circled here, right, is that's the primary target area. When you break above the 1618, you're done with this area, you go to your next target area, that would be the 1886 to the 2618, okay? You've already interacted right now with your 1272. If we zoom in, we look at this on a 3-day period, you've interacted with your 1272 and you've been consolidating in this area. This is a very bullish phase of consolidation. Whenever you move up like this and you hit the 1272, you almost always pull back to the 100 or the 886. And that could still happen. But when you consolidate like this between the 100 and the 1272, almost always, from my experience, what I see is a move that takes you right up to your 1618, okay? And that's at about $6.50. You're at $3.13 now. I theorize that by the end of February, if not sometime in the very first week of March, XRP will be worth $6.41 or higher. It could be worth a little bit more than that, but I don't think it stops anywhere lower than that. The most I would think you go to is right about $11, just below $11, in fact, somewhere around there. I don't think you see that by the end of March, but it's possible, man. XRP, I mean, we've seen it. It can move a lot in 1 month. It can move 283% in a month if it wants to. It could definitely do that, let alone if any kind of bullish news comes out. And here's where I actually want to kind of talk about some non-bullish news, some bearish news, in fact, right? I was mentioning how here it's actually very common to pull back to your 886 100 level for support, which you found support at the 100. that could be the case, but you didn't find resistance at the 1272 yet. You found it here. Generally, that's when you expect to find support at the 886 to 100 level, okay? You don't have to do that. And in bullish moments, this is a very bullish move. You know, those are the exceptions. You tend to just plow through it. But if, for whatever reason, over the next day, over the next week, over the coming weeks, before XRP moves up, if there were to be some news that comes out, Donald Trump says something, J.D. Vance says something, somebody in the White House who's got, what's the word I'm looking for? Reliable information, right? They're giving us the tea, right? The information that XRP will not, that we are looking at a bunch of different cryptos for the reserve, or maybe a handful of cryptos, and XRP is not in that basket. If you hear news like that XRP is not being considered for the reserve, I think you might see an initial sell-off. You might sell off to previous areas of resistance and find support there. You might pull back all the way down to your 100-886 area, find support there. It's a very common thing to do. You're at 313 now, moving below $2 and moving down to $1.58. That wouldn't be exciting, but man, what's crypto without a little volatility, right? It happens. It wouldn't be exciting, but my theory would be this: if you got that quote-unquote negative news, you would have a very quick drop down and a very quick recovery. Okay, it would last as long as like literally for a very short amount of time. Not even a month, probably. It'd be a very flash crash down and then a quick recovery. You'd probably see your move down and back up and recovered all in the same month, if not even in the same week, right? Because it might seem negative. You've got all these hopes. You've got all these high dreams that XRP could be in the reserve. It could be a reserve crypto of the United States and thus probably other countries in the world as well. That'd be a big thing for XRP. A lot of people are hoping for that. And if that happens, that could crush some hopes and dreams. People might sell just on that notion alone. But then people will remember, oh, wait, It did all of this already. It broke out of a multi-cycle consolidation phase already without even the notion of being in a strategic reserve, before that was even on anybody's mind. It's still the same coin that I bought or that I held for all the reasons before. So it's going to go. With or without the strategic reserve, I really do believe XRP will be worth, I genuinely can't see it being worth anything less than $11 by the end of the cycle. But truthfully, I think it'll be worth more than $22 to $43 is what I'm thinking. 2618 to the 2272. I really got nothing else for you guys. I suppose we can do some short-term analysis and just wrap this up. We're at $3.13 now. It's like you had this flag down. You had a fake out, broke back down, but then you moved sideways out of it. Most of the time when you do stuff like this, I feel like that would indicate a move up, right? Just because we moved up into it. If we were moving down and then we bled sideways, we'd likely go down afterwards. So I'm thinking you move up. The 4-hour looks basically the same as the price, right? You're in a consolidation phase. So being that this is the 4-hour time frame, you're coming to the apex of this. Let me draw this a little better. Let's see. Something like this. Yeah, you're coming to the end of this. I would think if today's what? Today's the 26th. Yeah, I mean, sometime next week, early next week, if not within the next 24 hours, you're going to make a decision, right? And I assume that decision, if it moves up, I would say it doesn't have to be accompanied by any good news. It could just be natural price growth. Maybe there is some good news behind it, but I don't think it has to be accompanied by any good news. While as a move down, a breakdown, I think would be accompanied probably by some negative news in regards to this whole strategic reserve. But again, if it moves down, it's still going to go back to those same targets I was talking about, $6 and beyond by the end of February. I fully expect that to happen, regardless if it goes down first or goes up higher. Yes, like literally you're at $3.13 now. I mean, you could drop all the way below $2 and then see prices above $6 all in a 1 month, 1.5 month span. I genuinely mean that it can happen. We've seen XRP do that before, right? I mean, look at that huge drop you had here right before that big run, right? You could just drop a little bit and then run as well. And if it doesn't break down, you know, the target still obviously $6 or more. What is the actual target by the end of February? Let's see. What was it? Where did I get that? Would it have been from here, the high to low? I think it would have been here. High to low. Yeah, 641. That's the target area. So 640, 650, somewhere in there. I got nothing else for you guys. If you liked the video, hit the like button, subscribe if you want to see more. It'll be interesting how this all unravels with the United States kind of, I don't know, would it be the Treasury, whatever the committee is, whoever's in charge of establishing this crypto reserve. It'll be interesting to see what gets selected. XRP definitely makes sense for that choice, and regardless of whatever light Jack Mallers spinning on it, and maybe again, I'm not trying to defend Garlinghouse. I'm not trying to say that it's a morally right thing that he's doing necessarily. But I think he's doing right by his community, right? I don't think anybody in the XRP community would be mad. And then, you know, also on another kind of note, adding multiple cryptos to the crypto reserve besides Bitcoin. If Garlinghouse is the one that opened that door, that means he opened it for more than just XRP. Maybe not intentionally, but now there's probably other coins besides just XRP and Bitcoin that are being considered for the reserve too, right? So as negative as a story as Jack Mallers might want to paint this, I think there's a lot of benefits that come out from it too. I don't know. That's just my 2 cents. All right, guys. I'll see you on the next one. Bye-bye. Take